So let me give you a case example because that's the best way I can illustrate it. So I had a situation a year and a half ago that the mother was reporting selective mutism and a diagnosis of selective mutism. Turns out that the child, when I separated the child with the mother and when I made it okay, mother was telling the kid not to talk to other people.
Oh my God.
You know, on a regular basis. And so because there was parent alienation syndrome, she had actually alienated the father there in the midst of a very complex divorce situation. And so this was all, and that's not to say it's not in other cases, but I really go to what's the motivation here. First I established, do they have a mechanism? So I'm sending them, and it's very hard in San Diego. I haven't found anybody yet to do a good feeding and swallowing evaluation, but if they're younger, you want a good feeding and swallowing evaluation. And I don't know if you guys have those resources where you're at, but a good feeding and swallowing will tell you if the mechanisms are there. If you don't have somebody you can refer to, there are instruments you can get. I've gotten enough now where I can be dangerous, and I'll still try to send to somebody, but I'll at least be able to test it a little bit to see if the mechanisms are there for speech. Then I start to go get a good clinical history about what are the situations in which they talk and which they don't. Has there been trauma or abuse, which is one of the biggest factors. But typically in autism, it's not selective, and the parents won't report that they're talking sometimes and not others. They're not talking. 40% of kids with autism don't talk at all, have no speech and language, remember? And the other, I don't know the breakdown of the other 60%, but I think most people will tell you there's social or pragmatic issues with respect to then the language, that they don't use it well. It's one of the hallmarks because it's a social and communication. One of the things that's going to happen in DSM is they're collapsing the 3 social and communication categories in autism down to 2. So it'll be interesting.